Bless the Lord, O my soul, blessed art thou, Lord.
Thanks so much for tuning in to another video on Daily Inspiration. And I like to share short-form videos here rather than the usual long ones because a lot of you prefer it this way. And for this video, I'm going to share another clip of Father Iannuzzi with you. And it's a little bit on confession in the beginning, but it's the later part of the video that has a lot of very good spiritual directions for us all.
Well, let us begin with simple steps. We must have a steadfast daily prayer life. There's no option here. If we don't, we won't remain in the grace of God and be pleasing to Him as He expects of us. Again, He permits faults, yes, but we should not take advantage of His patience or goodness. So as soon as we're aware of our sin, we don't hesitate, we confess. As soon as it happens. If it's grave, we go to sacramental confession. If it's venial, we can do a private act of contrition or at the penitential rite at the Mass. But it is healthy and a wholesome practice, even encouraged by recent pontiffs to confess even venial sin. We don't have to exacerbate the time of the priest in the confessional and tell him every little scrupulous sin we do in detail. No, we just mention the nature of the sin and the number. That's it. And it sometimes, I don't know if it's due to my impatience only, but it sometimes grieves me when I go to confession and there's a long line I see of people waiting to confess, and the priest on a Saturday when the churches are open for confession takes 20 to 30 minutes with one penitent. This should not be. The penitent and the priest both should not stay there without any concern of the people in line waiting to go to confession. That's kind of selfish. They should be mindful that what they're here for is to confess their sins and be forgiven, and that's it. It's not a counseling session, a session of spiritual direction. No, that's not what Saturday's for. And the priest should be taught properly this, and many are not, unfortunately. They spend, I don't know who knows how much time in the confession. That's fine if there's no one waiting online, waiting to go to Mass. Then you can spend all the time you want. In fact, you could spend 6 hours with the priest if you want, but not when people are waiting with only 40 minutes to confess or 30 minutes to confess or 1 hour, whatever the priest has at his availability on Saturday. So when I go to give retreats, I understand that the priest and the penitent are there to grow spiritually, and that's a good thing. But let us not forget that there are other people also needing the sacrament as well. So special times, I say, before a retreat, when I'm with other priests, I say, when you go to confession, try not to stay beyond 5-10 minutes, nothing more than that. You go in there, with an act of contrition. Contrition means not just you're sorry for going to hell, for deserving hell, which is attrition, but you're sorry above all for offending God, who is all good and deserving of all your love. That's contrition, and contrition is proven by a resolution. So you emerge from that contrition with a resolve to avoid this or that, or to do this or that. And the priest gives you a few words of counsel, extends to his absolution, imposes a penance. Again, that's it, So the first thing, practically speaking, we are to do with this knowledge God has preserved for the worst generation of all and given to us, is to have a steadfast daily prayer life. Frequent often the two sacraments of confession and communion. Try to spend some time before the Blessed Sacrament as often as you can. This is a counsel of Our Lady at Garabandal in the 60s. Imagine that. That's like 60 years ago. Imagine what the desire is today. She said, make frequent visits to Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament because it consoles Him greatly. And if we can't go to a church because it's closed or because it's far away or because we have no transportation, we can enter within the cell of our soul, as Jesus instructs St. Catherine of Siena. Go into the little cell. Monks have a cell. It's a place where no one can enter. It's a spiritual place, an interior place. And it has to be accompanied by external silence as well. So it could be a room, it could even be a garage, it could be the basement, it could be a place where you have a little shrine, the crucifix, maybe some candles, holy water, holy oil, statue of the Blessed Mother, St. Joseph, the other saints, where only you and God enter. And when you enter that little cell, you erase, as it were, all the distractive thoughts from your mind. This is a counsel of St. Francis de Sales. He says, whenever you enter the chapel, be it a physical chapel or that of your heart, to pray, you eliminate as best you can all distracting thoughts. And this is symbolic of the method in which Moses entered the presence of our Lord on the mountain. He removed the sandals from his feet. The sandals is a symbol of the world's distractive thoughts and trappings. When we enter the presence of God, we remove the mundane and secular things among us. We are walking on holy ground, as it were. And in addition to having a steadfast daily prayer life, receiving frequently the two sacraments, entering throughout the day within this cell of our heart, we do our rounds, our prevenient act at the first rising of the day. Even before our feet hit the floor, we offer our fiat to God. We meditate on the passion of our Lord, which is the most formidable means of making reparation to his Sacred Heart. There is no greater work indulgenced and given to us by the Church in making reparation to our Lord than the hours of the passion of our Lord Jesus Christ, the original title of which was the 24 hours of the sorrowful passion of our Lord Jesus Christ. We should have a little bit of reflection on this every day, even if it's 5 minutes. And another form of reparation is the Stations of the Cross. And the stations don't have to be very long. I try to do the stations often, and because of lack of time, I do a quick version of the stations when I don't have much time to do the longer one, and that is I announce the station, I do a prayer while meditating on that station, and I move to the next, just one prayer. So if you have more time, you could do a meditation, accompanied by reading. In addition to that, we do acts of corporal spiritual acts of mercy, helping those in need, with prayer, with financial help, visiting the dead at the cemetery, visiting those in prison, giving food to those who have none, clothing, shelter to those who have none, education to those who have none. And then we fuse ourselves in the divine will in everything we do throughout the day so that everything becomes one with the acts of Jesus and Mary, the new Adam and the new Eve. And then Jesus will make the acts of Mary our acts, whereby he hears our voice and hers, our thoughts, our affections, our desire, our adoration, everything he saw in Mary, he sees in us. And everything he sees in us, he sees in Mary. If we were but as fortunate as to have that beautiful lot of God raising us up, as he did with Louisa, to that level of intimacy with the Trinity's acts in Mary and in us.
Well then, that will be all for the video this time. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. And hopefully all of you have learned so much from this video. And remember, if ever you have any feedback or suggestion, please let us know in the comments below. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your continuous support, contributions, and prayers. And until the next one, thanks again for watching, and may God bless you.